On the other side, Katie and Bruce meet with the leader of their youth cell, who pledges his support for their plan to assassinate the Prime Minister. Their mission is set to take place in the subway system, which is now primarily used by the aliens and authorities. Meanwhile, Will and his companion venture to the other side of the wall, scaling a tall building to get a full view of the city. From there, they begin shooting into an empty building, causing confusion and destruction. The guard, bewildered by their actions, questions them. "What are you doing?" Will dismisses the concern and retrieves a map hidden inside the building. When they return to Snyder, Will shows him the map and says, "Those who attacked us left this behind. The rebels are planning attacks on these locations." Back with the youth cell, one of the members shows Katie a small flying robot. "This drone can collect any kind of data," they explain. Meanwhile, Bruce gives Katie a crash course on how to shoot, saying, "If you're going to support us, you need to know how to aim properly." At home, Katie discovers her daughter reading a book titled How Humans Have Benefited Since the Aliens Arrive. She learns that the church distributed the book and has been manipulating children through its teachings. Katie immediately tells Will, "The church is indoctrinating the kids. We need to leave this place." Will agrees but hesitates, saying, "We can go to the other side of the wall, where my colleague's house is." "But do you really think we can escape Snyder and the authorities? Can things truly get better?" Exhausted by the constant lies and betrayals, Katie confronts him. "I want a divorce. I lie to you, you lie to me. What kind of relationship is this?" Will is deeply hurt by her words. He came here to save his family, but now he feels he has lost everything. Meanwhile, the rebels execute their plan, sneaking into the subway through an emergency entrance. They set off an explosion to delay the train, during which they capture an alien and bring it back to their hideout. News of the aliens' kidnapping spreads rapidly throughout the city, sparking fear. The governor urgently calls a meeting with Will and the other authorities, saying, "One alien has been kidnapped. If we don't find it soon, the city will face destruction." Remember what happened to the last city where aliens disappeared? It was wiped out. Bruce and the rebels have hacked into the alien systems using their device, and Bruce cradles the unconscious alien in his lap. One of his companions discreetly places the alien's body inside a police car. Meanwhile, Will receives footage of the subway incident and spots Katie among the attackers, but he chooses not to report her involvement. As the situation grows more volatile, Snyder is fired from his job for failing to maintain control of the city. Furious, he confronts the governor, saying, "What have you done to me?" But the governor shrugs, explaining that the decision came directly from the authorities. At the rebels' hideout, they begin operating on the alien, intent on extracting as much information as possible. Meanwhile, Will, sitting in his office, uses CCTV footage to identify the leader of the rebel youth cell. He realizes that the alien must be hidden in the youth leader's house. Without informing anyone, Will heads there, where the rebels are busy dissecting the alien. He knocks on the door but receives no response. "I'm with you," Will calls out. "Just leave the alien and go. The police are coming soon, but I won't report any of you. You'll be safe." Trusting him, the rebels flee through a secret exit. Moments later, the police arrive, raid the house, and discover the alien inside. With the alien found, Snyder is reinstated in his position and rewards Will with a universal pass, allowing him free passage to any city. Now, Will can finally search for his son. The alien is taken away in a helicopter, and Will sets off beyond the city walls to begin his search. Meanwhile, Katie returns home after completing her mission, only to find her house empty. The season ends here, leaving us with a sense of impending change and uncertainty. Season 2 begins by taking us back to the day of the alien invasion, when life was still normal for everyone. First, we see the Bowman family, which consists of Will, Katie, their kids Gracie, Charlie, and Bram. As we know, before the alien invasion, Will used to work for the FBI with his partner Devon. Speaking of Devon, not only is she Will's partner, but she's also a good friend. When Will is about to leave for work with Devon, Katie says, "I'll drop Charlie off for his classes, and you can pick him up on the way back, okay?" Will assures her, saying, "Sure, I won't forget." Now as Will leaves with Devon, we see spaceships approaching Earth from the sky. The scene cuts to Snyder, a man who we'll need to pay close attention to. A few people have come to meet him, and when Snyder asks them why they are there, they tell him that he has been selected by the Institute of Global Advancement. It's a mysterious organization, and after thinking for a bit, Snyder accepts the offer. Meanwhile, we see another character, Broussard, who has taken time off to visit his mother. Broussard faces difficulty even walking, so he has hired a caretaker to help his mother while he's away. After meeting his mother, he goes outside to get some fresh air. Meanwhile, Will and Devon are given a task. Their senior tells them, "We need to handle this situation quietly. We can't let people panic, or it will create chaos if the news gets out." Will and Devon head off to locate a VIP. They arrive at the VIP's house, where they see bullet holes in the glass door. They are puzzled at first, but proceed inside. Will notices the security cameras, and quickly realizes that the VIP, terrified by a sudden attack, is hiding in a panic room, watching everything through the cameras. Will addresses the camera, saying, "We're here to help. The people who attacked you are gone." Will and Devon flash their FBI badges, and finally, the VIP comes out. He introduces himself as Thomas and explains, "Some men broke in and killed my maid. I barely managed to hide in the panic room. They searched for me for 20 minutes and then left." Now the story shifts back to Snyder. After accepting the offer from the mysterious organization, he is taken to a secret location, where he comes face to face with an alien for the first time. This encounter shakes him to his core. He's given a decision to make, and shortly after, he forcefully takes his daughter with him, leaving behind his wife. Snyder knows something big is coming, and most people in the city won't survive. Chaos breaks out in the city as the power suddenly goes out and cars stop working. People are terrified by these strange occurrences, and when Will sees this, he realizes that something catastrophic is about to happen. Broussard receives a call, and he leaves immediately, giving Katie his new address. Katie, now aware of the looming danger, rushes to pick up their daughter Gracie. On the way, she informs her sister Maddie about the situation and tells her to bring her son to Katie's house. While driving, like many others, Katie's car also breaks down, forcing her to walk with Gracie to Bram's school to pick him up. After collecting Bram, she realizes that Charlie's school is much farther away, so she heads straight home. Soon after, Will arrives home and sets off to find Charlie. At the same time, Maddie arrives at Katie's house with her son. Now, all the Bowman family members, except Charlie, are gathered at home, scared and unsure of what's happening outside. The entire city is in disarray, with alien drones patrolling the skies. Meanwhile, Snyder successfully brings his daughter to a safe location where he meets Governor Helena. She tells Snyder, "A new world begins today, one in which people like us will rule." Elsewhere, Broussard meets with a few people. After their meeting, he heads back to see his mother. But before he can reach her, the building collapses, killing everyone inside, including Broussard's mother and his associates. Broussard, who has military training, wonders if this is part of a larger war that the military hasn't fully disclosed to him. He struggles with the guilt of not being able to save his mother. Back to Will, who is desperately searching for Charlie. As he nears Charlie's location, he sees a massive wall being erected in the middle of the city, separating them. The wall is so tall that it seems impossible to cross. Will is devastated, realizing that Charlie is now trapped on the other side of the wall. The story then shifts to the present, where Bram has been captured, and Katie comes to visit him. You might be wondering when Bram got captured. Well, he was taken during the events of the first season. Katie tells him that Will has gone to Santa Monica to rescue Charlie, and assures Bram, "I'll get you out of here soon." The scene then transitions to Will, who is in Santa Monica, showing Charlie's photo to people and asking for information. Instead of helping him, they rob and beat him. After being assaulted, Will manages to get back on his feet and continues searching for his son. He eventually finds Devon and pleads with her, "I need your help. Please help me find my son." Suddenly, the show flashes back to 1969, the year when scientists first received signals from outer space. This historical reference leaves the audience with many questions, but before we can dwell on it too much, the story jumps back to the present. Katie returns to see Bram, but learns that he has been transferred to another location. This news terrifies her, because she fears that Bram might have been sent to the dreaded factory, a place from which no one returns alive. At this point, Katie decides to ask Maddie for help, since Maddie is currently living in the green zone with Nolan. Maddie tries to comfort Katie, saying, "Don't worry, we'll save Bram. I'll talk to Nolan today." Katie returns home, unaware that her house is being watched through hidden cameras. These cameras are monitored by Jennifer, who is keeping a close eye on Katie's every move. Jennifer's new boss, Bennett, summons her and demands answers about Will and Broussard. Jennifer reveals what she knows about Will, but claims she has no information about Broussard, because, in truth, she really doesn't know where he is. Bennett isn't satisfied with her response and warns Jennifer, "If you want to stay in this job, you'll have to follow my rules. I don't care about what you've done in the past. I'll judge you based on what you do now." When Jennifer returns home, she finds her house being searched by red hats, members of her own department, clearly indicating that she's under suspicion. Meanwhile, Maddie speaks to Nolan about finding Bram's whereabouts. Initially, Nolan refuses to help, but he eventually agrees. Bram, on the other hand, has been transferred to a labor camp instead of the factory. At the camp, he meets a girl named Maya. The camp's warden lays down strict rules, warning the prisoners that any disobedience will result in harsh punishment, including being sent to the factory, which is essentially a death sentence. We then see Will in Santa Monica, desperately searching for Devon's help to locate Charlie. They are eventually led to a man named Solomon, who agrees to give them Charlie's whereabouts in exchange for Will's transit pass. Solomon warns Will, "If Charlie doesn't want to come with you, don't force him. He likes robbing people on the streets. He's my best thief." Finally, Will finds Charlie, who is with a group of kids robbing a woman. Will is overjoyed to see his son, but notices that Charlie is shocked to see him. Will embraces his son, but it's clear that Charlie has changed. He's no longer the innocent boy Will remembers. Back at Katie's house, she decides to confront Nolan directly about Bram, much to Maddie's dismay. Maddie scolds Katie, "I was handling it. Why did you interfere?" Meanwhile, at the labor camp, Bram is under the watchful eye of Snyder, who knows Bram well, but has kept him there for reasons unknown.